Smurfing, a term used to describe a player competing against others that are significantly less skilled than they are. Smurfing has been in gaming since the beginning of its existence. Even with the addition of SmurfQ, most players will still tell you that it feels like every single game has some sort of inter or smurfer in it. Why hasn't Riot solved smurfing permanently yet? Why does it feel like there are so many smurfs? Today we explore the world of smurfing, the different type of reasons that people actually go smurfing, the market of smurf sellers and the wars that they fight, and the challenges that Riot Games faces when it comes to smurfing. This is League of Documentary. First, let's take a look at why there are so many smurfs. I talked to dozens of different hardcore smurfers. Some had anywhere between 20 to over 100 accounts. There are many different reasons as to why people smurf, but most of those reasons can be broken down into two categories. Let's call the first group the jerking off smurfers.
I have always been a ILO player, like since season 10 I've been consistently above Diamond 1. This is not to brag, this is actually pretty sad, but I have like 35 accounts permabanned for toxicity. I get tilted because my jungler didn't come. I will flame him, but the minute after I flame him, my brain is ready to play the game again to the fullest.
Do you feel like you have any anger issues outside of League of Legends?
No, I'm actually a real chill dude. I'm almost 19. I have never been in a fight, even at the club or anything. Let's think about smurfing as a drug. We go to stroke our ego. We go in a game, we go 25-0. We post the screenshot on the Discord just to feel better, just to get our ego stroked. It feels really good. It feels warm inside to win. After I win, even if the enemy team didn't say nothing, I will still type GG mid gap because it feels good to show the others how much better I am. My ego is getting stroked every game.
Although ego smurfers do make up the largest majority of the toxic smurfing community, they are not technically the worst smurfers out there. That title belongs to a group of smurfers that I personally like to call, holy shit, I did not know people could be this fucking brain damaged.
Let's make a real life analogy. Imagine you work in a company and your boss spends the day yelling at you, and you go to a gym and you box or whatever to take your anger out. It's like basically the same. You spent your day and you got griefers, you got bad games, and the release is going to fresh accounts and running it down. I buy an account just to run it down and run it down and run it down. And if account gets banned, I buy another and run it down. You see people going through what you've gone today. It's pleasurable to see them suffer, to make you want to quit the game. That's if you quit the game, that's like our peak of happiness.
That's right, there are people out there that actually spend their own money just to be able to run it down on people that they don't know. It's like a shitty version of Thanos. I've been inted in my games, so I need to bring balance to the universe by inting others. These are the smurfers that usually ruin most people's games, and they make up about half of the smurfing community. But there is a portion of the smurfing community that isn't toxic and is smurfing for somewhat legitimate reasons. We're gonna call these guys the I'm too old for this community.
I barely play 4 or 5 games a day, barely anymore. I've got kids, I've got a full-time career. If I get in 4 games, that's a lot. I used to bust out 20 games a day, easy. But now it's just not so anymore. Like people who do this thing, for the most part, a lot of them are jerks. They come on here, they treat people badly, but instead I would rather invite you to think of it a different way as well. I have friends that want to play with me at a regular pace, so it's either I bring them up to my elo and destroy their self-esteem, or for a few games I just drop down to theirs. For the most part, it's harmless. Sometimes I do see how I ruin your game. I've got 5 children and I have a wife. I don't have the time to grind to a level 30 account. With the connotation, the general connotation of things, a lot of people are ashamed of it. And I'm like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And that's what I feel like a lot of the smurfers are. It's people like me, man. It's just family guys that don't have time to play the game. So we'll buy an account so we can.
I talked to one of the biggest smurfing websites in the scene. Here's what they had to say about the people actually running these servers. About 55% of the community are some form of jerk-off smurfer. and 45% fall into the category of dad smurfer. If half of the smurfing community is just doing it to be able to play with friends or bring new players into the game, Riot doesn't really have a great incentive to just completely nuke this community. But it's not just about the incentives that make it hard to remove smurfs, it's also about the way that this community is just set up. This scene is very much a Wild West sort of scene. There's no real laws, there's no enforcement, everyone survives based off of their own reputation. There is a lot of competition in this business. Think about Smurf sellers from a traditional business perspective and how amazing it sounds. Their main product is a digital product. You don't need a factory to manufacture it. It's infinitely producible and can be instantly shipped. Literally anyone can do it. Due to the insane profit margins and ease of entry into the business, there is a ton of competition out there. Most black market items are primarily still sold on Discord servers. This scene has been plagued with fraud and scams since the beginning of its existence. Anytime you have people selling things of this nature, you're gonna have people that are dishonest and people that are just looking to steal others' money. The reason that Discord is so popular for these kinds of items is because it's easier to vouch for people on Discord. If you're looking to buy a new account, who would you ask first? Usually you ask your friends first. So if you have a friend that vouches for somebody else telling you that this person is a trustworthy vendor, then most likely you'll find them on Discord and you're more likely to buy them. There are hundreds of these kinds of servers making thousands of dollars every single month selling different types of Smurfs. But why is there so much competition, and why aren't there any mega servers that have been able to take over and own the market at this point? There's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is the products themselves. Some Discord servers focus on selling high elo challenger accounts. Some focus on selling low elo iron accounts. Some focus on boosting silver players to gold. Whatever the case is, every single one of those products vary in popularity, and they need different people and different methods to produce these products. The best iron account creator is obviously not going to be the best challenger booster. Since there's so many niches, it's hard to just go after one seller and take them all out. It's not just about the different types of businesses, it's also about how old many of these business runners are. In the grand scale of things, League of Legends is still very new. Even with the account sellers and website owners that have been around since the good old days, those days are only maybe 5 years old. In terms of business lifespan, that is a very short amount of time, which is why most of these server owners and website runners are so young to begin with.
Hi everyone, my name is Astro and I'm one of the founders of turbosmurfs.gg. We are currently one of the biggest Smurf sites in the space, and we're also one of the biggest Discord communities for League of Legends.
Hi, my name is Flo. I'm working with Astro on TurboSmurf. We have been doing this for almost 2 years now.
There are people who kind of ruin the business or ruin the image of the business and how it's managed because they don't care at all. And I mean, people already have an opinion on it before they try it. Because people come into our discourse and asking oh, is this a scam? And no, it's not. I'm sorry if you've been scammed somewhere else,
Our competitors, most of them are how do you say, it's some random dude in a Discord server that sells account. They don't really have done a professional business out of it.
When you run a Discord server business, although you have no cost to have the server up and running, you do have unique risks of just being in this market. The biggest, most obvious risk is that you can get your server banned. Let's say, for example, you have a server that specifically caters to hardcore Smurfs, the players that are just doing it for an ego boost, and players that want to just stomp low elo players. Many of these types of people are going to be toxic. They tend to post some very wild things, especially in their Discord servers. And if you, the owner who've built a community for these types of players, do not properly moderate and control your server, well, there's a good chance that your server could get banned. When your server gets banned, you essentially lose everything that you've worked up and built because you didn't have good mods.
People who do this are, 16 euros, 15 euros mainly, but many of them are very shady. I remember in the beginning, when we were growing very rapidly, we didn't have DDoS protection, and something that we struggled with for like 2 weeks was that we were like constantly getting DDoSed by competitors. I mean, some other problems we have had, we have scam attempts constantly. We have stolen credit cards being used on our site. There's a bunch of toxic people coming to Discord sometimes as well, like harassing the staff and everyone. People using Discord bots to like DM everyone on the server to tell them about their site instead. Their Discord servers or their websites, or also Smurf accounts, trying to like take our customers in a way. Last time that happened, I actually joined the server that was advertised, and I spoke to the owner, tried to explain to him why this is bad, because like honestly he's grinding as well, right? He's like trying to build his own business, he's like trying to build his like own thing, but man, he's doing it completely wrong. What I did to like beat the competitors is like branding, honestly. Always putting the customers first and your like employees first. If you have happy employees, you will for sure have happy customers because they will be treated with respect. I had like a long discussion with this guy, like trying to explain why he should just focus on building a brand and like building a community instead of spamming Discord servers, because no one's gonna join someone who is spamming. Get a random DM from someone and they send the Discord invite link, and then they'll free Discord Nitro giveaway right now. No one's gonna join you or trust your brand when you do this. I was just trying to help him, honestly.
Most sellers in this space are not as nice as Astro. Many of them are very territorial and do not show mercy to those that do not follow the rules of the underworld.
Stay out of my territory.
When you go into somebody else's Discord server and try to steal their customers, that is the equivalent of a drug dealer selling on somebody else's territory. There is a mutual understanding between these server owners, and if you're someone who breaks the rules or scams other people to destroy the reputation of this scene, you might get a visit from the Secret Square.
This is some kind of secret Illuminati community I'm not a part of.
That's exactly what it is. The Secret Square is a league of Illuminati for boosters and account sellers. It is comprised of some of the most OG and profitable businesses in the market. And if you're somebody who's running scams or selling on other people's territory, you will have dozens of these owners coming down on you hard and destroying your business. Here's just a short list of a few things that the League of Illuminati will do if you are a dishonest person in their world. The first thing is blacklisting you and publicly calling you out. Then getting thousands of their own customers to come in and report your server so that it gets banned as quickly as possible. But that's not all they do. Depending on who you've done business with, they might even report you in real life. What some sellers will do is require real-life verification before doing serious business with you. So if you've revealed your identity to someone and you try to scam one of these owners, what they will do is report you to the local authorities in your district. And since many of these scammers are young and still in school, a lot of them can be expelled from their university or high school for fraud. With how much money and youth is involved, personal vendettas can go on for years. This environment is very much like a mafia type of environment. If you don't show respect to the other bosses, you're gonna get your ass taken out. Turbo Smurfs does something different that a lot of other Smurf sites don't do. They actually try and cater more towards the dad side of smurfing than the jerk-off community.
We have a 100% lifetime warranty, which basically means that if you buy an account today and in 6 months it gets banned for botting, it has to be botting, so it can be banned for like toxicity or stuff like that, right? Last year we had a huge ban wave we got hit by, and it was a hit on the business, right? But we care much more about reputation than profits.
There are several different things that Turbo Smurfs does differently in order to maximize their reach. One of the most innovative things they've done to create a community is to incorporate loot boxes into their website and Discord server. Pretty much every major game today has a loot box system of some sort. This system has been shown to be the most effective when driving engagement and fan spending on their games. Turbo Smurfs is one of the first websites to actually incorporate this system into their own business. Every 24 hours, a person can go onto Turbo Smurfs and roll a loot box. You can either get a coupon or a free account depending on your role. This encourages people not only to come back to the website every single day, it also encourages people to use the coupons they receive from their loot boxes. Like most other websites, Turbo Smurfs receives their Smurfs from bot makers. 99% of all Smurfs sold in League of Legends are botted. So why doesn't Riot just get rid of these bot makers and kill smurfing forever? The fact is that they have tried to do so in the past. When Twisted Treeline 3 vs 3 was a thing, many of the bot makers would simply populate that game mode with their bots because nobody wanted to play it. It was fast, it was efficient, and made lots of great smurfs. But every time Riot Games shut down one form of bot makers, another one would just appear. Riot Games themselves said, quote, "We didn't really intend to turn this into a cycle of breeding bandwave resistant bot pathogens. These bot makers adapt to survive, and every time Riot takes them down, they get stronger and stronger and stronger." Aging a League of Legends account is very similar to aging wine or cheese. If you bought an account and it hits level 30, then immediately sell it to somebody else, the system will catch you and you will likely get banned very quickly. So most of these account sellers actually leave the accounts alone for up to 3 years before selling them. And they usually have hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of these accounts ready to be sold or currently aging. That's the level of dedication that these bot makers will go to. Imagine holding a product that you will sell 3 years later for around $3. So what does Riot Games actually do about smurfing? Ban waves do happen, and they happen in pretty large fashions. Thousands of accounts get banned every single year. But that's not really going to be enough to stop smurfers when they can just infinitely recreate more. A lot of the solutions that people are proposing to get rid of smurfing forever, many of them have been proven to not actually be that effective.
How do you stop smurfing? It's not stoppable. You can ban as many accounts. There'll still be more. You can ban as many IP. You just reset your motherboard.
If you look at regions like China and Korea, it's much more difficult to get a smurf compared to the West. Some of these countries require either an SNS verification or even a social security number in order to be able to make a League of Legends account. Yet despite these roadblocks, it's still very easy to create a smurf. For just $20, you can easily pick up an account there. I know this because I have a Korean account. Riot Games themselves have reason not to get rid of smurfs permanently either. Smurfers are some of the most hardcore and dedicated League of Legends players in the game. One of the most important statistics as a video game company is how many users are playing your game on a daily average. If these guys are so addicted to League of Legends that they'll go through dozens of accounts just to continue playing, that's a very significant portion of their hardcore player base.
Imagine I buy an account. I will not play without a skin on my champion. So that's another 10 euros I put into Riot's pocket. Imagine I do that with 20 accounts. Imagine 1 million players do that. That's a lot of money, so they don't really care.
The biggest animal that has ever lived on our planet. A blue whale, 30 meters long and weighing...
Between the Family Guy smurfers, loss of revenue, and just the sheer difficulty of actually stopping them, the idea that smurfing is going to be permanently removed just isn't realistic.
I always wanted to do something related to mental health awareness. I think it's like a really important topic in the gaming community because I've struggled it myself in the past with like depression and anxiety, and I think League has always been like escape for me to escape reality, and I think a lot of people like can probably feel that way as well, and I just want to help out as much as possible. Supporting some type of foundation is like the next step for me personally. I just want to like try to help as much as possible.
League itself is a waste of time, but people who smurf are mostly people who are depressed, people who are alone, people whose life revolves around Discord. So they really have nothing else to do with time. It's people who were bullied and found a welcoming place in League of Legends back when they were young. So now people will smurf because that's all they know. That's what they do all day. So don't try smurfing. Like, yeah, it's really addictive. It's like it's literally a drug for your brain.
Smurfing doesn't exist because League of Legends is flawed and Riot Games refuses to do anything about it. Smurfing exists because humanity is flawed, and some of them don't want to do anything all day but play League of Legends.